everyone, it's Becky here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing yet another tag video, which is strange, I know, because prior to this I was really confused with tag and I did not do many videos like this, but here I am doing another tag video, and the one I'm doing today is called Comfort Reading Tag, which was created by Bubbling Bee, and again I will link the channel to the description down below, so please make sure you will check it out. And yeah, without the further ado, I will start because I was really enjoying watching other people doing this tag, and past couple days have been a little bit overwhelming for me, so I decided I'm gonna do something comfy and I'm gonna do this tag and also speak about some books which gives me comfort. So I really hope that you will enjoy this video and maybe find some inspiration for other books you might possibly read. And so the prompt number 1 says, "The kettle's on, a book of steadfast comforts always there for you, make any day better like a cup of tea." Or your favorite warm drink. So yes, for me it's cup of tea as always. And here I will go with the book called Príbehy pre potešenie duše by Bruno Ferrero. I will check the English title because so far I couldn't find it, because Bruno Ferrero is Italian priest but also a writer. And what I really love about this book is the Slovak edition I have, because the illustrations here were made by Lenka Javorska and they are truly beautiful. I mean, look at this. Let me find another one. Yeah, for example here. And this book is basically splitted to couple themes and couple parts, and the themes are, for example, love, marriage, friendship, and then for every part of this book there are several short stories and they are truly beautiful. Like, I highlighted so many of them in these books, and there is one which I really love called Why Do People Shout? And I mean, I'm not gonna read it for you, but if you have a chance to find this book, I would highly recommend you will, because it's truly beautiful and it always makes my day better. It's just very comfy read when you have a cup of tea, and yeah, exactly as it was described in this prompt, absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend you to read this one. Okay, the prompt number 2 is Grandmother's Quilt, a book that reminds you of a loved one or comforting book that was given to you or read aloud to you by someone else. And here I will go with this lovely green book, which is called Spievajúca lípka. And I have no idea how to translate this, but this book is very old. Concretely, if I will be able to find it, yeah, this one is from 1972, and you have illustration like this here, again very lovely. And this is the book which contains basically most of the Slavic traditional stories for children and fairy tales, and I'm sure that many of those are translated to English and to other countries and other languages as well, and they are maybe slightly changed, you know, according to every country. But this is the book which my mom and my dad used to read to me and to my sister when we were young, before we went to bed. So it's, yeah, like illustrations like this, really beautiful. And I really been loving this book, and also it gives me lovely memories because, as I said, my parents used to read this to us. So if you are from Slovakia, I'm sure Spievajúca lípka is something that is familiar to you, and if not, highly recommend that you try to get access to this, because it would be absolutely amazing for you or for your kids or for whoever else. So Spievajúca lípka for this one. And then third question is Warm Spices, a book with particularly vivid prose or imaginary, a story comforting in its richness, depth or vibrance. Well, I could choose so many books here, but I'm going with this little lovely one called Peter Pan, because Peter Pan for me is a story which I've been loving so much my entire life, because just the idea of, well, classically never growing up, and also the fact that you can fly if you have a happy thoughts, and also a little bit of fairy dust. I mean, yeah, I love it, totally love it. And I have this little edition from Collins Classics, which is very lovely to, you know, have in hand, and also I really do love the cover and the illustration on the top. And I bet all of you knows the story of the Peter Pan. There are these 3 siblings who meet a special boy who basically goes to their room when he's chasing his shadow, and he, Peter, will take them to Neverland, where they have all sorts of adventures with Indians and pirates, and I just absolutely love this story. Also, there were so many great film adaptations created for this book, and I highly recommend you the one with Robin Williams. Absolutely amazing, absolutely sweet. And then also my another personal favorite is the one from 2003. Yeah, that is truly amazing. And I mean, the way how there is portrayed love between, you know, sort of like the first love between kids and these sort of things, I just love that movie so much. So this is one of the very comforting book for me, and I highly recommend, if you haven't read Peter Pan or if you haven't seen any film, definitely do as soon as possible. Okay, prompt number 4, yeah, 4 is The Candlelight, a book that keeps you going on Okay, number 4. So, The Candlelight, a book that keeps you going or encourages you when things get dark or feel dark. I cannot read, I'm so sorry. Candlelight, a book that keeps you going or encourages you when things feel dark. Alright, finally got it. And here I have this book. It's by Max Lucado called Zvládneš to, so in English it would be like you can do it or something like this, but I'm sure that the translation would be slightly different. But Max Lucado is a person who is writing a lot of sort of like books which are very helping for people, but they're always trying to find the base in Bible and the Bible stories. And I did not read many books from him, even though he has many books. But I purchased this one when I was in high school, and I went through, you know, those typical high school struggles when I was really deciding, actually primary school, yeah, when I was trying to decide what sort of high school I should go to and what I'm planning to do with my life. And I just wish that all my troubles were as they were back then, because they feel like I can't overcome this obstacle, like my life is so hard, but it was not hard at all. But this is a very lovely book and also really encouraging, and I would highly recommend you to read this one, because I know also a friend who was reading this during the time she was fighting a cancer, and she said it really helped her as well. And basically from any time of your life when you feel like you maybe need a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of help. And basically this book is telling the story from the Bible of Joseph, who was sold to Egypt by his brothers. And through this story, Max Lucado is giving you an examples how Joseph managed to deal with the life situation he found himself in, and how God guided him basically to the good end. And it also applies to your own story and sort of your own obstacles. So highly recommend you to read this book if you are going through some sort of more difficult period of life and you are trying to find some sort of hope in a book. For me, definitely this one was a good one. So this one. Okay, the prompt number 5. Laugh Medicine, a book that makes you laugh aloud or grin widely, coming to rescue on the gloomiest days. Here I have 2 books. Do you know these 2? It's by Sarah Anderson and it's called Sarah's Scribbles. And I received this one from my sister for Christmas and this one from my friend. Hello. And I've been loving these books. You can also find this artist, illustrator on Instagram or other social media. And this book is just, I mean, they are hilarious. Like, I love the character of Sarah and I love the way how she is illustrating, and also those stories in combination with the face expressions of this character. Love them. And I remember reading as well this one. I was reading this in Scotland because I took it with me, and I was laughing so much that my flatmate literally came in and he was like, what are you laughing about? And I'm like, this book is hilarious. So yeah, if you need something that will really cheer you up, go for these 2 books or this author, or even find it on Instagram. You don't even need to purchase the book, but I'm so happy I have these 2 books. Alright, another one, In Bed All Day. You've got your warm drink, cozy blanket. What do you read when you're curled up in bed all day? Well, here I will go with the book which I mentioned I think twice already, but never mind, I really do love it, and it's called Thread the Needle by Carrie Thomas. This is a book about magic, about all sorts of beautiful magical systems you can imagine. It's also sort of like high school, young adult book, but I've been enjoying it very much. This is the first book from the series, and I cannot wait to read the second one. And honestly, I think I would love to read any sort of magic, autumnish, wizard, witchy books when it's raining and when I'm just curled in the bed. So definitely recommend you to this one. If you would like to know what is the book about, I will link you to my video where I'm going to more deep review of this book. I'm also telling what is the story about and also what I loved about the book. But highly recommend you this one to read if you are looking for some book regarding magic or just something very comfy when it's raining outside. This is the perfect book, and also has the blue cover as the rain. So yeah. Right, moving to another one is Endless Comfort, a book that brings you solace no matter how many times you reread it. And for me, especially when they said reread it, is Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I love this book with all my heart and soul, and I love the author, and especially this book. I mean, this one was given to me by my dad, and he read the book many times as well, and I cherish it very, very much. I believe that story of Three Musketeers is known by everyone, so I'm not gonna go very deeply into it. But obviously the main character here is D'Artagnan, the young man who is really wishing to join Musketeers in in France, and during this time when he goes there he meets these three amazing musketeers, Athos, Porthos and Aramis, and together they experience so many adventures. And it's a historical novel, it's beautifully set in France, and I love the setting, I love the oh my god, just everything about this book. There is also another book, another sequel to it, and I'm really wanting to do Alexandre Dumas recommendation book video, so hopefully I will get to it soon, and then I will be talking about his books until I will be out of the breath. So far, until then, you can read Three Musketeers because it's absolutely lovely book, and I've been really loving it. And moving to another one is Portable Hope, a book that restores your faith in humanity, faith in life, faith in yourself. A book that says, I'm going to be okay, the world is full of good things and tomorrow will be better. Well, I think that this won't be a surprise very much, and I think that many people will go with this book, but I will mention it anyway, and I'm gonna go with Hobbit. Because I must confess that Hobbit, or in general Tolkien's books, is something I did not read very much, but I do love the movies and I do love the stories which the movies are coming from, and especially The Hobbit. I have very lovely memory here because when I was sort of like transitioning from high school to university and I left the Scotland, obviously I was very emotional, same as my other family members, and I remember the first night I found a very long email from my mom, and because at the time we all loved The Hobbit and watching the movies, she wrote in that email that, oh, you're like, you know, you remind me little Hobbit who went to this massive journey by himself, which was me going to this massive journey by myself to university in different country, and it's just really lovely memory for that message. And The Hobbit is absolutely beautiful, comforting book about adventure, about friendship, about the better world actually. And if you haven't seen the films, I highly recommend, although I must disagree because I feel like Hobbit was supposed to be just one film or maybe two maximum, but not three movies. But still, I do love to watch it and I do love to read the stories, and Lord of the Rings is just absolute best. So Tolkien, whatever you read from him or watch from him, let me know what is your favorite book or favorite story from him. I would love to know. You can let me know down in the comments. And yeah, Hobbit would be the one book I'm going for with this tag. And moving on to another one, a basket for your neighbor. Just as it's lovely to be comforted by books, it can be very lovely pass the comfort along. Imagining you're putting together a cozy comfort basket for your neighbor or friend or loved one, take your pick. Which books would you include? So here I would definitely go with The Keeper of Lost Things, which is the book I mentioned in one of my wrap-up videos, but it's a very lovely book about friendship, about taking care of one another, also about memories, about sort of like collecting things and cherishing things you have as a memory for someone else. And I was just really enjoying this book, and also there is a lot of themes from love, friendship, also homosexuality, and it's just very lovely book, and I would highly recommend you to give it a go. Also, because there are books, I would also mention one book which I mentioned in one of my videos as well, and that's The Peculiar Life of the Lonely Postman, because although this book is quite a lot about solitude and about being on your own, it's also about love, and it's just very lovely read, and it really does not give you depression, but I would really say that it's very poetic book and very good for something when you need to be more comfy. So those two books. Okay, and the last from now is Walk in the Woods. Though we would like to stay curled up indoors with the books forever, or at least I would, well yeah, definitely everyone, we've got to venture into the world again sometimes. A walk in the woods always helps me to feel refreshed, yes. Tell us about a book with beautiful nature writing or a book that restores your peace. Okay, here I'm gonna mention a book which I again mentioned before, but I just cannot skip it, and it's this one, The Highland Witch by Susan Fletcher. I mentioned this before, and if you've seen my video where I did a review, you know I've been obsessed with this book and I've been loving it so much. And this is the book about nature, about beautiful nature in Scottish Highlands. It's about witchcraft, it's about love, it's about friendship, it's about adventure. Also, it's sort of speaking about the massacre of Glencoe, which is the historical event which really happened, and it's not the nicest one, definitely not, but still this book is absolutely comforting. Although we meet our main heroine in a prison where she is awaiting her death basically because she was accused of witchcraft, and from there the story goes on. I'm not gonna tell you much more, but even though it deals with quite a lot of difficult topics, I've been loving this book so much, because Korak, the main character, definitely became one of my most favorite literature characters since I read this book, which was maybe 2-3 months ago. And just descriptions of nature here, guys, and the way how Korak is perceiving, you know, the nature and her love for nature, is just absolutely beautiful. So definitely recommend you this one. And yes, so yeah, that was the last question. So those were all my books. I would recommend you if you want to feel very comfy, or if you need some sort of comfort in your life. And also I would like to tag someone else. I have written into the paper here. So I would like to tag Mila from My Own Character, and also Nikki from Red Dot Reads. So if you lovely ladies are watching and you would like to do this tag, please feel free to do so. And thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you with another video very soon. Take care, bye!